Denny Hamlin wins and cautions save what was kind of a dry race. So let's get into it. Coming up next. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. All right, the law firm of James, Dennis, Allen, and Hamlin wins the race. It is his fourth of his career. It wasn't without a little bit of adversity, and we're going to get into that in just a minute. But for the record, this is his 58th win. He continues to be 11th all-time now, 2 wins behind the retired Kevin Harvick and 5 wins behind active driver Kyle Busch. So that is where this stacks him all-time. And points-wise, of course, for the playoffs, it elevates him to the leader if the playoffs started today with 4 wins. First driver to 4 wins as well. And, well, it does get him back in that contention for the regular season. We'll talk about the regular season and all the points here in just a minute. But like I was saying about Denny Hamlin, this race wasn't as easily won as it probably could have been. And that's because this race, as dry as the first 2 stages were really beefed up at the end with 2 cautions for rain. And during that second caution for the rain on the restarts and then the double overtime, Denny Hamlin had to hold off drivers that had 50-lap fresher tires, in particular teammate Chase Briscoe in the number 19 Bass Pro Shops Camry, where Martin Truex Jr. in that same car was very good here at Dover. Chase Briscoe did everything he could there. They made a little contact. It was aggressive driving, but it was, for the most part, pretty clean. And Denny Hamlin with the 50-lap older tires, surprisingly to me, I was shocked that he was able to hold off Chase Briscoe, but he does do it to get win number 4 on the season. But other than that, let's be honest, the first 2 stages were kind of dry. In fact, the vast majority of excitement with this race happened toward the end. There was some talk about tires. Some of the tires did cord. Some of the teams got aggressive with it. But for the most part, the tires held up. I know Eric Jones hit the wall. I know at one point A.J. Allmendinger had one that corded and came apart. So the tires really, at the end of the day, weren't a huge factor in this one, at least not as big a factor as we thought it would be. So really what we were left with was rain and restarts, and all of that happened in the 3rd stage where Christopher Bell spun out there at the end. How nobody hit him is amazing, and then he, somehow, as bad as it was able to rally and get back into the top 20. So with that being said, kind of a boring race, but let's take a look at the top 10 for good race and bad race. And there you go, Denny Hamlin there in the winning position, starting 13th, got the win. Chase Briscoe started on the outside pole and, of course, comes in 2nd, so didn't improve or lose positions from the start, at least when it was all said and done. Alex Bowman needed this race points-wise, finishes in 3rd place. And not only that, but stacked some stage points as well, which is really going to help his cause in the playoffs at the cut line, which we're going to touch on here in just a minute. But big day for Alex Bowman for sure. Also a big day for Kyle Larson, who finishes in 4th place here, snaps out of the summer slump. And Ty Gibbs here in 5th place. A good run for the Monster Energy Toyota. 6 through 10 was Chase Elliott, who had this race under control until the car fell off the jack stand during a pit stop. That hurt him. Bubba Wallace, good race for him. Definitely needed this finish right here in the 7th position for the cut line. Ryan Blaney, a good race for him as well. I think he was the first Ford here, followed by Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski, also Fords. Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick, Michael McDowell, Joey Logano, Austin Dillon round out your top 15. And that jumbled finishing order, of course, was part of that final caution there where some cars took tires, some cars did not. Austin Dillon obviously did not have a 15th place car on speed here today, but because of the way that things all shook out at the end, was able to get that top 15 at the end of the day. So those were the guys that had good races. Let's take a look at some of the guys that had a bad race. And we'll start at the top up here with Daniel Suarez finishing in the 26th position, then go down to 30th, and you'll notice Shane Van Gisbergen in that position, and then you go down here to 33rd, Ross Chastain in that spot. NASCAR is a brutal sport, from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows for Trackhouse. Trackhouse sitting on cloud 9 the other week, winning all of these road course races. Now this race, their highest finishing car at Dover in the 26th position. Ross Chastain did have a good run going until he lost control of his car. They never really showed a replay of what happened, just that Ross Chastain looked like a tire was down, but I don't know if the tire went down from the spin or if, what was going on there, if he just lost it and then the tire went down. But either way, The one good car they had going in this race ends up with a poor finish as well. So bad day overall for Trackhouse, who, once again, like I said, last week was having a great week. It's just it's how the sport is. Another driver here I wanted to point attention to is William Byron, who had been bleeding points, but looked like he had that turned around. But this 31st position finish here is going to be detrimental to him because I mentioned the points. He was the regular season points leader and all the bonus points that come with winning that regular season championship. Well, he's now got to chase down a new man in front on the regular season points because, once again, he had a poor finish here. Not of his doing, of course. The spin in front of him, he got collected up in all of that, but it doesn't matter why, of course. Once again, bled points away. And so let's take a look at the regular season points and who is our new points leader. And that honor, of course, is going to go to Chase Elliott. You see him moving up one spot there on the left. This is from NASCAR.com. The graphic is William Byron moving down one spot, 702 for Chase Elliott, 686 now for William Byron in the regular season battle. Kyle Larson sits at 664. 1 point behind him is Denny Hamlin at 663. Tyler Reddick at 640. And Christopher Bell now at 635. Christopher Bell salvaged his day, of course, with an 18th place finish there, which sort of helps keep him at least in the running for the regular season title as far as points goes. So that is the regular season, but let's take a look at how the playoffs stack up after this Dover race. And here is a list of drivers that have already won races. Of course, Denny Hamlin leads the way now with 4 wins. Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Shane Van Gisbergen all sit there with 3. Then you got William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Chase Briscoe, Ross Chastain, and Josh Berry with all 1 win apiece. But here's where it gets interesting. Right here on the bubble, the cut line, you see Josh Berry locked in at 12th there, but then Tyler Reddick at plus 156. He's like 4th or whatever I just said in regular season points, 13th on the cut line. So if 4 more drivers win and he's not one of them, he's going to be in trouble. Alex Bowman plus 63, Chris Buescher plus 44, Bubba Wallace plus 16. So everybody at the cut line that was above it did what they needed to do today. Ryan Preece had a good run, but that minus 16 now opposed to the minus 3 that he came into this race, minus 39 for Kyle Busch. He made up some ground there. But that being said, some of these guys are sort of getting in that situation now with about 6 races left to go where they're going to have to really focus on, do they want to get a win or are they going to try to point their way in? And of course, anybody winning outside of those people in the top 4 or just around that general cut line is really going to shake this thing up today. And of course, we almost had a situation today where that could have happened, where of course Christopher Bell and Austin Dillon stayed out there. If Austin Dillon could have got that win, just a rain shortened race or anything crazy like that happening, you can have a random winner and anything could have happened. Christopher Bell, of course, already locked in, but I was more referring to Austin Dillon there. That really could have shook up the points here, no doubt about it. Another look at the points before we jump off here. Chevrolet in the manufacturer's points is up 736. Toyota at 711 with their win. They cut the gap just a little bit. And Ford sitting at 668 in the overall battle for the manufacturer's championship this year. All right, that's going to do it for this one. And a minute ago, I said 6 races left to go. I actually meant 5 races left to go. Dover would have been 6 races left to go. So with 5 races left to go, if 4 different drivers can win, that is really going to shake up 4 different drivers that aren't on that cut line win. It's really going to shake up the playoff points there at the bottom. But yeah, that's all I got for you on this one. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening or Monday morning, whatever time you're seeing this one. But yeah, until the next one, thanks for your time. Peace.